today we are revising the unit 4. Okay, that is in that unit 4 we are discussing about the single line diagrams that will be converted with the equivalent reactance diagrams or the impedance diagrams, and also we find out the per unit values also, and then we find out the per unit values also. Okay. This is the unit 4. Unit 4, that is the symmetrical faults. Okay, that is the symmetrical faults. Okay, under abnormal conditions in a power system, that is a fault on a insulators or the lightning strokes due to the lightning strokes are some of the faults that will be occurred in the transmission line, that will be depending upon the faulted currents. Okay, basically that faults are divided into two types of faults, that is the series faults and also the shunt faults. Okay, that is the series faults and also the shunt faults. Okay, basically these types of faults are divided into two types, that is the series faults and also the shunt faults. Okay, what is meant by the series faults and what is meant by the shunt faults? Okay, the series faults are characterized by decreasing in the current and increases in the voltage and frequency and power factor. Okay, the series faults are characterized by decreasing in the current and increases in the voltage and frequency and also the power factor. Okay, the shunt faults are characterized by increasing in the current and decreases in the voltage and the power factors. Okay, the series faults are classified into two types, that is the one open conductor faults and the two open conductor faults. Okay, therefore the series faults are classified into two types, that is the one open conductor fault and the another open conductor faults. Okay, this is the main basics of a series faults. Okay, the open circuit faults are the series faults if the conductor is melting a three phase where no load voltage is slightly more than the single load voltage. Okay, this is the short circuit or the shunt faults. The short circuit or the shunt faults are exist due to the falling of a tree branches and while the failure of the disc insulators of a string. Okay, that shunt faults are obtained due to the sum of the falling of a tree branches and the failures of a disc insulators or string failures of a mechanical fittings and the conductors. Okay, therefore there are classified into single line to ground faults. Okay, these are classified into single line to ground faults. Okay, that is line to line fault, double line to ground fault, next line to ground fault, next triple line faults. That means the three phases means in the phase faults are obtained. Okay, the first three faults are that is the line to line fault, line to ground fault, and line to ground faults are the unsymmetrical faults. Okay, these first three faults are called as the unsymmetrical faults. Okay, these faults are analyzed by using the symmetrical components. Okay, these faults can be analyzed by using the symmetrical components. Okay, the line to line fault and double line to ground fault and line to ground faults are the unsymmetrical faults. Okay, unsymmetrical faults. Okay, the three phase faults are the symmetrical faults. Okay, the three phase faults are the symmetrical faults. Okay, the three phase faults are the symmetrical faults. This can be analyzed per phase base is by using the Thevenin's theorems. Okay, by using this Thevenin's theorem or the bus impedance matrix, we determine this faults. Okay, the occurrence of this faults is varied. The most common faults is the line to ground faults. Okay, 90% of faults are obtained at the line to ground faults. Okay, the occurrence of the faults or the three phase faults are the triple line faults are 5% and line to double line to ground faults are the 10% and the line to line faults are the 15% and line to ground faults are the 70%. Okay, normally the line to ground faults are obtained more, that is up to 70%. These faults are obtained up to 70%. Okay, next open circuit faults. Okay, these are the open circuit faults. Before the fault, the transmission line is balanced manner and the electrical quantities in the phases are exposed in the RMS values. Okay, in this case, the electrical quantities are exposed in the RMS values. Okay, so that these types of faults are open circuit faults are due to that open circuit faults increases the voltages and decrease the currents and slightly increase the frequencies and slightly improve the power factors. Okay, slightly improve the power factors. Okay, these are the major effects are obtained by for the open circuit faults. Okay, the increases in the voltage will increases the field intensity. Okay, the voltage will be increased, automatically the field intensity will also be increased. Okay, due to increases of this field intensity, the possibility of the insulation failures are obtained. Okay, due to the increases in the field intensity, the possibility of the insulations are failures. Okay, this is required to calculate the voltage and the phase. Okay, and they are exposed in the peak values. Okay, these values are exposed in terms of the peak values. Okay, in this first one is the transients due to the short circuits in the transmission line. Okay, transient due to the short circuits in the transmission line. Why we are obtaining the transients in the short circuits of a transmission line? Okay, this is the given transmission line, that is this is the Rx and open circuited line, and by using this switch at t is equal to 0 instant, some faults will be obtained at that point. This is the fault or a short circuit current. Okay, therefore the applied voltage is V is equal to the Vm sine of omega t plus alpha. Okay, due by why the transients are obtained means, the first we are taking the sum of the assumptions, that is let us construct the short circuit transients on a transmission line. We are assuming the short circuit transients on a transmission lines. Okay, the certain simplifying assumptions are made for this case is that we are assuming the sum of the assumptions. Okay, the line is fed from a constant voltage source. Okay, in this case we are assuming the line is fed from a constant voltage source. And second one is the short circuit takes place when the line is the unloaded. If the line is unloaded, automatically the short circuits are obtained. Next one is the line capacity is negligible. The capacity of that line is negligible when the short circuit transients are obtained in the transmission line. Okay, these are the various assumptions that will be taken in the case of a short circuit transient transmission lines. Okay, next one is the short circuit is assumed to be takes place at t equal to 0. Okay, at t equal to 0 instant, some short circuits are obtained. The currents after the short circuit is composed of I equal to the Is plus T. Okay, where Is is the steady state currents and Is plus T equal to the I. Okay, what is the applied voltage? That is V is equal to the Vm sine of omega t plus alpha. Therefore, V is equal to root 2 V sine of omega t plus alpha. Root 2, that is the RMS value. Okay, then IS is equal to root 2 V by Z sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta. Okay, then therefore Z is equal to the R square plus X square, then theta equal to tan inverse of XL by R. Okay, then IT is the transient currents, therefore IT is equal to minus IS into e power minus R by L T. Okay, then IT equal to minus square root of 2 ZV into sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta into e power minus RL by T. Okay, then simplify this equation and then substitute I equal to IS plus IT. Then we obtain the, that will be divided into the two components. That is, first one is the symmetrical short circuit current, second one is the offset short circuit currents. First one is the symmetrical short circuit currents, next one is the DC offset short circuit currents. Okay, the symmetrical short circuit currents are the root 2 V by Z sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta plus root 2 V by Z sine of theta minus alpha e power minus R by L theta. Okay, this is the offset currents. Therefore, the maximum short circuit current I max equal to the root 2 V by Z sine of theta minus alpha plus root 2 V by Z. Okay, then we calculate the IM is equal to 2 into root 2 V by Z. 2 into root 2 V by Z. Okay, next coming the transients due to the short circuits in a three-phase alternator. Why we are obtaining the transients in the case of a three-phase alternators? Okay, first we know the transient period, subtransient periods and steady state periods. Okay, this is the figure for the three-phase synchronous generator studied to the synchronous short symmetrical short circuits and its equivalent RLC circuit. Okay, a synchronous generator operates at a voltage and a sudden short circuits are occur. Then we are taking the sum of the assumptions. First one is the armature resistance is negligible. Okay, the resistance of that armature is negligible. Okay, the mission is under no load conditions. Okay, then we are taking the mission is under the no load conditions. Okay, all the three phases are the short circuited. So, okay, after that all the three phases are the short circuited. Okay, these are the following assumptions that will be taken when the sudden short circuits are obtained in the mission. Okay, due to the sudden short circuits and the terminals, current will be increases. Okay, that is the armature current is increases. Okay, then the first peak of the resultant current I will becomes twice the peak value of the final steady state currents. Okay, this is the if the fault currents in the phase increases, heat that can be expressed due to the heat in the insulation failures. Okay, due to the short circuit current, some insulations will be failure. Okay, in short circuit currents is limited only by the leakage of the reactance of a mission. Okay, the short circuit currents can be divided into three periods. That is, first one is the subtransient period. First, what is meant by the subtransient period? That means when the current is large, as a mission offers the subtransient reactances. When the short circuit currents are in the large, then the mission offers the subtransient periods. Okay, then the mission offers the subtransient periods. Okay, next one is the transient period. Okay, what is meant by transient period? When the mission offers the transient reactance, when the mission offers the transient reactions. Okay, then reactions. Okay, then it is called as the transient period. Okay, the mission offers the transient reactance, then it is called as the transient periods. Okay, next is the steady state period. Okay, next is the steady state when the mission offers the synchronous reactances. Okay, when the mission offers the synchronous reactances, then it is called as the steady state period. Then it is called as the steady state periods. Okay, in first one is the subtransient period. Subtransient period. Okay, during the initial part of the short circuits, the damper and the field windings have transfer current includes. Okay, that is called as the, what is meant by the subtransient periods? When the current is the large, then the mission offers the subtransient reactance. Okay, then we calculate the xd is equal to the xl plus 1 by 1 xd plus 1 by xf plus xa. Okay, XDW, XF and XA are connected in parallel. Okay, then so that in the circuit model, the reactances XF, XDW of damper winding appears parallel with the XA. Okay, therefore the subtransient period is 2 cycles. During this period, the current decays very rapidly. Okay, in this period, the current decays very rapidly. Okay, therefore the RMS values of initial current is the short circuit currents. Okay, the RMS values of initial current is the short circuit currents. Okay, next one is the transient period. Okay, this is the diagram for the transient period, in that XF and XA are connected in the parallel. Okay, as the damper windings are damper winding currents are first to be die. Okay, in this case, in the transient period, the damper winding currents are die. Okay, therefore XDW effectively becomes the open circuited. Only in this case, XF and the XA are used. Okay, the mission reactance can change from the parallel combination of XDW, XF, XA to the XF and the XA. Okay, in the transient period, this diagram is changed. This diagram are, that means the XDW, XF and XA are connected in the parallel. That will be converted into the, or simplified into the XF and XA are connected in the parallel. Okay, during this transient periods. Okay, this period, the current decays slowly. In this period, the current decays slowly. Therefore, xt dash is equal to the xd plus 1 by 1 by xf plus 1 by xa. Okay, the damper reactance xdw is effectively becomes the open circuited during the transient period. Okay, during the transient period, there is no xdw, that will be open circuited. Okay, next is the steady state period. Okay, next is the steady state period. Okay, in this period only we are obtaining the xa. Okay, during this period, the current reaches its steady state value. Okay, during this period, the current reaches its the steady state value. Okay, under steady state conditions, the armature reactions of the synchronous generator I is equal to the Eg by xd. Okay, therefore xd is equal to xl plus xa. xd equal to the xl plus xa. Okay, because these two reactances are connected in the series, therefore xd is equal to the xl plus xa. Okay, then I is equal to the Eg by xd. In is equal to the Eg by xd. Okay, therefore xd double dash is less than the xt dash is less than the xd. Okay, it is called as the synchronous reactance period. Okay, it is called as the synchronous reactance period. Okay, next topic is the selection of a reactance. How we will select the reactances? Okay, the resistance of the all the components are to be neglected. Okay, while selecting the reactance, we are neglecting increasing the resistance of all the components. Okay, next one is the shunt capacitance of a transmission line should be neglected, and also we neglect the shunt capacitance. Okay, after that the shunt branches in the equivalent circuit should be neglected. Okay, the shunt branches are also neglected. Okay, next one is the current drawn by the static loads under the short circuit conditions should also be neglected. Okay, how will this obtain means the first select an appropriate base MVA. First, while selecting these reference reactants, first we are taking the appropriate base MVA. Okay, next select an appropriate base KVA. Okay, this is the one of the most important considerations while selecting the reactance value. Okay, first of all we are taking the more appropriate base MVA and appropriate base KVA. Next, calculate the per unit values of the voltage and the reactance. Okay, this all will be observed in the first unit, that is the reactance diagrams are the per unit diagrams. Okay, we already well known about the equivalence of that per unit values, that is what is the equivalent of that generator, that is reactance in series with the voltage source. Okay, what is the equivalent of that transformer, that is the reactance. Okay, what is the equivalent of the transmission line, that is the reactance. What is the equivalent of that motor, reactance in series with the voltage sources. Okay, then we calculate the per unit values of that voltage and the power factors. Okay, and so on. Okay, replace each components with the equivalent reactance diagrams. Okay, then connect all the element component. Okay, then we are connecting the all the element components. Okay, these are the various method for connecting the current limiting series reactance. Okay, this is the first case in series with the generators. Okay, reactance in series with the generator X1 in series with the generator X2 in series with the generator 2, X3 in series with the generator 3. Okay, this is the bus bar and these are the feeders. Okay, in that the reactors is connected in series to that generator. Okay, next one is the in series with the feeders. Okay, this is the generator. The reactor is connected in series to the feeder lines. Okay, these are the feeder lines. In that we are using the reactors. Okay, these are the reactors. Okay, in that the reactors is connected in series to the feeder line. Okay, in this the reactors are connected in series to the feeder lines. Okay, next. Next, between the bus bars. Okay, in between the bus bars, this is the bus bar line. Okay, this is the bus bar. Okay, this is the bus bar line. This is the bus bar line. In between this bus bar line, we are taking the reactances. Okay, in that the reactance is connected in between the two bus bars. So this is the total bus bar line. Okay, this is the total bus bar line. Okay, in between this bus bar, we are connecting the two reactances. Why? Because we are connecting these two reactances means that in that we are using only 3 generators. That's why we are using the 2 reactances in between these 2 generators. Next one is the tie bus system. Okay, this is the tie bus system and this is the generator, bus bars and feeder line. In between these bus bars and the feeder line, we are connecting the one tie bus. Okay, we are connecting the one tie bus. Okay, by using this given theory, then we solve the different problems that will be related to that reactance diagrams. Okay, next coming to the example for that problem. Okay, for a radial network shown, a 3-phase fault occurrence at a feeder F. Determine the fault current and the line voltages at 11 kilovolts. Okay, the line voltages at 11 kilovolts. Line 11 kilovolts bus, and under fault conditions draw the reactance diagram and base equal to the 100 MVA. Okay, we already given the base, that is the 100 MVA. First we are taking the single line diagram. Okay, this is the single line diagram. Okay, this is the single line diagram. By using this single line diagram, we draw the reactance diagrams. Okay, that I already studied it in the first unit. By using this single line diagram, we will draw the reactance diagrams. So, okay, in this case, the two generators are connected in parallel. Okay, in this case, the two generators are connected in parallel. Okay, that's why we are taking these two generators, that is G1 and G2. Okay, that are connected in the parallel. Okay, then after that we are taking the one transformer. This is the transformer 1. Okay, in between transformer 1 to transformer 2, we are using the transmission line. Okay, in between this transformer 1 and transformer 2, we are using the transmission line. Okay, in that then we represent this transformer 1, transformer 2, and also the transmission line. After that we are using the cable that will be represented like this, and this is the voltage source. Okay, this is the equivalent reactance diagram for this given single line diagram. First of all, by using this single line diagram, we draw the equivalent reactance diagram. Okay, by using this single line diagram, we draw the equivalent reactance diagram. After that, we observe the what is the base MVA and what is the base KVA. Okay, then we calculate the X per unit for generator 1 and X per unit for generator 2 and X per unit for transformer 1, transmission line, and also this transformer 2. Okay, then we calculate the X per unit mu. Okay, then we calculate the X per unit mu equal to X per unit volt into MVA base nu by MVA base whole square volt. Okay, X per unit nu equal to X per unit volt into MVA base nu by MVA base whole square into KVB whole square by KVB nu whole square. Okay, this is the formula for the X per unit nu values. Okay, this is the formula for the X per unit nu values. Okay, and then we substitute the X per unit values. Okay, that already given in that single line diagrams, that is X per unit volt of that generator 1. Okay, and substitute these values, and then we determine the overall reactance for this generator 1. Okay, same as that of we determine the X per unit for generator 2. Okay, and then first we write down the old values and the new values. Okay, after that we substitute the different values for that transformer 1 and also transformer 2 and also the transmission lines. Okay, this is the transformer 2, old values, new values, and then obtain the base values. Okay, this is the transmission line. Okay, that is the procedure for calculating the reactance values for the generator, transformers, and also the transmission lines. Okay, this is the total reactance values. Next, cable 3 into Z into MVA by KVB whole square. Okay, this is the reactance for that cable. Okay, this is the total reactance for that cable. Okay, then the total impedance. Okay, we already well known about the what is the series connection and what is the parallel connection. By using this series and parallel connections, we simplify this network and then obtain the total impedance. Okay, that is the difference between the first unit problem and the fourth unit problem. Okay, in this problem, after drawing the equivalent reactance diagram, and after that we will find out this all the reactance values, then calculate the equivalent reactance. Okay, how we will calculate that equivalent reactance? reactance first. The generator 1 reactance and generator 2 reactance are connected in parallel. Okay, we already well known about the parallel connection of that equivalent resistance or reactance values. Okay, by using this, we calculate the equivalent reactance for the various networks. Okay, that is the difference between the first unit problem and the third unit problem. Okay, same as that of we calculate the per unit values for given single line diagram. Okay, after calculating that per unit values, we simplify this network for a single reactance. Okay, or the equivalent reactance. Okay, that reactances are connected in parallel or the reactances are connected in series. Okay, after finding this overall reactance are the, then we obtain only single reactance in that circuit. Okay, that is the overall reactance for that given single line diagram. Okay, next coming to the second problem. Okay, coming to the second problem, a generating station has three alternators of 3 MVA, 2.5 MVA, and also 2 MVA with reactances of 0.07, 0.05, 0.04 per units. Okay, 0.04 per units. Okay, the circuit breakers are rated at 150 MVA. Okay, the circuit breakers are rated at 150 MVA. Okay, it is instead to extended the it is instead to the, it is extended the by a system by a system by a supply from a grid via a transformer of a right 7.5 rating 7.5 MVA. Okay, this is the given problem with a 0.7 per unit reactances. Determine the reactances to the value. Not continuation of that problem, then in this case we are giving the single line diagram. Okay, this is the single line diagram for that given circuit. By using this single line diagram, we draw the reactance diagram. So after that we calculate the equivalent reactance there. Okay, that is the reactance values or the simplification or the equivalence reactance diagram. Okay, by using this equivalent reactance, we obtain the overall reactance in the network or a circuit. Okay, by using the equivalent reactance values, we obtain the overall reactance of the system. Okay, next in that next topic is the short circuit MVA. Okay, next topic is the short circuit MVA. In a product of short circuits at a place of a fault occurrence through the potential at a point is the zero. Okay, therefore the short circuit currents is expressed as a ISC is equal to the I into 100 by percentage of 100 by percentage of X. Okay, therefore, the short circuit MVA of three-phase system is that is 3 into VISC. Okay, that is 3 into VISC. Therefore, the short circuit MVA is equal to the 3V into I into 100 by percentage of X. That is 3V into I into 100 by percentage of X. Okay, therefore, the base MVA is equal to the 3VI. Okay, therefore, the base MVA is equal to the 3VI. Okay, therefore, the short circuit MVA is equal to the base MVA into 100 by percentage of X, or the base kVA into 100 by percentage of x into 10 power minus 3. 10 power minus 3. Okay, therefore the short circuit RMS current is equal to the V by root 3 x. Okay, V by root 3 x. Therefore the short circuit MVA is equal to the short circuit currents is equal to the short circuit currents into V into root 3 by root 3 by 10 power 6. Okay, this is the equation number 1 and this is the equation number 2. Okay, the equation number 1 and the equation number 2 in short circuit MVA for two different cases with percentage X and consideration. Okay, the base KVA on the short circuits. Okay, in a short circuit calculations, the reactance of each unit is plays a major role. Okay, therefore the percentage X is equal to Ix by V ohm. Okay, multiplied with V on both sides. Okay, multiplied with V on the both sides, then we are obtaining the total X is equal to the KVA, KVI X by 10 kV square, KVI X by 10 kV square. Okay, this is the overall short circuit KVA that is equal to base KVA into 100 by percentage of X. Okay, by using this formula, we determine the short circuit KVA for the given consideration. Consider a three-phase interconnected power system. Okay, this is the given single line diagrams and assume that case 1, that is generator KVA as the base KVA. Okay, assume the generator KVA as the base KVA. Okay, therefore base KVA is equal to 3000 KVA. Okay, therefore given the base KVA is equal to the 3000 KVA. Okay, therefore Xg, that means the generator reactance, Xg is equal to the percentage of X into KVA base by KVA. Okay, therefore Xg is equal to the percentage of X into KVA base by KVA. Okay, then we calculate Xg equal to 20 into 3000 by 3000. Therefore, Xg is equal to the 20. Xg is equal to the 20. Okay, then consider second case. Therefore, X3 is equal to percentage of X, then KVAB by KV. Okay, that is X3 is equal to the 10 into 3000 by 2000, that equal to the 15 percentage. Therefore, X equal to Xg plus Xt. Okay, therefore, the short circuit current is equal to the substitute that values, then we obtain 14.77. Okay, that is the first consideration, case 1. Next, select any arbitrary KVA. In previous case, we are selecting the 3000 KVA is the base KVA. Okay, in this case, we are selecting the another base KVA and then compare the answers for with each base KVA. That will be same answers for considering the both base KVAs are changing that base KVAs. Okay, next coming to the next problem, a three-phase transmission line operated at 33 kilovolts and having a resistance of 5 ohms and reactance of 20 ohms. Okay, is connected to the generating station. Okay, the transmission 1.5 MVA is stepped up 5% reactance transformer is connected to the buses with two alternators. Okay, in that case we are using the two generators and also transformer and reactance. Okay, by using this given data, we are studying this data and then we draw the equivalent single line diagram for that given data. After drawing that single line diagram, then we write down the equivalent reactance diagrams. After that we calculate the base values for that equivalent reactance diagrams. Okay, this is the equivalent reactance diagram. Then we find out that reactance values. Okay, first we find out the transformer reactance, that is percentage x into kVA by kV. Okay, in that question we are having the percentage x, that is the 10% for that generator 1, 75% for generator 2. Okay, next 5% for the transformers. Okay, then we calculate that xt and transformers and transmission lines. Okay, then we substitute that all the values in the reactance diagrams. Then we calculate that base kVA short circuit MVA, and then draw the reactance diagram for that equivalent single line diagram. Okay, next coming to the next problem. First we study this problem, and then by using this theory, we write down the diagrams. We draw the diagram for that given theory. Okay, after writing that, then we observe how the reactance values is there and how the reactances are obtained. Okay, that all will be observed. Okay, మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, ఫస్ట్ మనకి ఇచ్చిన థియరీని చదివి దాన్ని బట్టి ఇలా రియాక్టెన్స్ ఫస్ట్ సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ డ్రా చేసుకుంటున్నాము. ఆ సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ ని బట్టి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, ఈక్వలెంట్ రియాక్టెన్స్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ అనేవి డ్రా చేసుకుంటాము. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ we will calculate the per unit values for that each and every generators and also transformers and also transmission lines and also loads. Okay, by using the formulas. Okay, by using the formulas we calculate the equivalent reactance values for each and every component. Okay, equivalent reactance values for each and every components. Okay, this is the another problem. By studying this problem we draw the single line diagram first. After drawing this single line diagram we draw the reactance diagram. After that we calculate the per unit values. Okay, after that we calculate the per unit values. Okay, ila single line diagram nunchi reactance diagram rasamu, reactance diagram nunchi per unit values అనేది మనం ఇలా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తుంది. ఇది మనకి ఇచ్చిన గివెన్ ప్రాబ్లం. ఆ గివెన్ ప్రాబ్లం ను చదివి మనకి ఏదైతే సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఉందో అది డ్రా చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, ఆ సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్ నుంచి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే రియాక్టెన్స్ డయాగ్రామ్ అనేది డ్రా చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, ఇవి అర్థమైందమ్మా. మనం ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ చదువుకొని దాని నుంచి సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ డ్రా చేసుకుంటాం. నెక్స్ట్ ఆ సింగిల్ లైన్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ నుంచి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, ఈక్వలెంట్ రియాక్టెన్స్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ రాసుకుంటాం. నెక్స్ట్ ఈక్వలెంట్ రియాక్టెన్సెస్ నుంచి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, ఈ పర్ యూనిట్ వాల్యూస్ అనేవి క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకొని ఇలా సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, ఇలా ఈ మన క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్తాడు, ఇలా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అనేవి మన నోట్బుక్ లో సాల్వ్ చేస్తాం. ఈ క్వశ్చన్ నుంచి మనం రియాక్టెన్స్ డయాగ్రామ్ డ్రా చేసుకొని దాని నుంచి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫార్ములాస్ రాసుకొని ఇలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్